A business partner who have a business transaction with the supplier only once are called one-time supplier. So we do not need to create master record for one-time vendor because we do not need this master record after the business transaction. So for example, we got a urgent requirement and we want to procure a material from a supplier for which we don't have the master record, and we are using that supplier only for one. That time we can create one dummy supplier that is called one-time supplier. So we can use the dummy supplier which don't have the master data, but when we create the purchase order with that dummy supplier, one-time supplier, we need to enter the address. So let me show in the system. So for one-time supplier, similarly, we need to create a account group. Like here for raw material, there are export import, and there are different groupings are created. Similarly, for one-time supplier, we need to create account group. And with this account group, if we are creating a supplier and using a supplier in transaction purchase order, so we need to enter the address. And let me show you the configuration first. Before configuration, so I have created some time back, just to save the time, I have created one-time supplier. So you see here the one-time vendor account group is used, and the BP group number and vendor number is different because the configuration, the checkbox is not tick, and that's why those are the different number. So now this one-time supplier is created. So let me create a purchase order with this one-time supplier. Now I have created a one-time supplier, and when I'm trying to create a purchase order with this one-time supplier, so system will ask for address. See, please first maintain the supplier address. So as the address will be a different, yeah, here we need to provide the address. If I use the regular supplier, that time this address data will directly fetch from master record. But for this one-time supplier, I just created a supplier number with very basic details which don't have the address. So we create one-time vendor as a dummy vendor, and by using this dummy vendor number, we can create multiple purchase order with different address for each transactions. And this way, we can maintain a one-time vendor with various address as needed for the different purchases. So each time you enter the specific address directly in the purchase order with needing to create a separate record for each location. So this is the difference between one-time vendor and the regular vendor. So for example, sometime back we created the supplier. Now you can see here this address data is directly fetching it from master data. But for one-time supplier, we need to provide the address in the purchase order. So mostly this is used for urgent requirement or some kind of service we have, stationery we are buying from supplier, and we are not using that supplier in future. So that time we can use the dummy number and we can enter the address directly into the purchase order. That is about one-time supplier. Now, the next topic is partner function.